Amazon now faces one of the gravest challenges in its history, a crisis that, at first glance, seems invisible. On the surface, everything appears flawless. The company's stock continues to set new records, reports highlight steady growth, and top executives assure investors that all is well. Yet, behind these confident statements, a silent storm is brewing. In the coming weeks, Amazon plans to cut 14,000 jobs, with long-term reductions possibly reaching 30,000 employees, nearly 10% of its corporate workforce. It's the largest downsizing the company has ever undertaken. The official reasoning sounds calm and rational: optimization, artificial intelligence expansion, reducing bureaucracy, improving efficiency. But if everything is truly going so well, why is Amazon shedding tens of thousands of workers? The truth lies beneath the surface. The company is preparing for a looming global shock. Because Amazon is not merely an online retailer, it reflects the state of the world economy itself. After the pandemic, Amazon experienced explosive growth. Millions worldwide turned to online shopping, fueling massive expansion. Warehouses multiplied, new workers were hired at record speed, and the company appeared unstoppable, an unsinkable giant of the digital age. But those golden days are gone. Consumers have returned to physical stores, and the economies of the US and Europe have slowed. Amazon's growth curve is flattening, while its costs continue to climb. Logistics, storage, delivery, everything has become more expensive. Inflation, rising fuel prices, and high interest rates have all pushed operational expenses to new highs. Amazon now faces a turning point. Its old model no longer fits today's economic reality. The company is being forced to restructure, realizing that the pandemic boom is over. According to insiders cited by Reuters and The Guardian, these layoffs were not a sudden decision. They were planned for months, discussed at the board level, and formed part of a broader transformation strategy. Publicly, leadership calls it progress, a move toward a leaner, smarter, tech-driven structure. But analysts see it differently. Amazon is fortifying itself against a global crisis. Tensions between the United States and China are escalating again. The trade war, reignited by Donald Trump's policies, is intensifying. The White House is considering new tariffs on Chinese imports, from steel and electronics to rare earth minerals critical for chips and batteries. In response, China is preparing countermeasures, restricting exports of the same materials that American tech firms rely on. If this economic confrontation deepens, companies like Amazon, built on global supply chains and low-cost logistics, will face the heaviest blows. Beijing understands Amazon's dependency on Chinese manufacturing, from raw components to finished products. And if China decides to retaliate, Amazon will feel it immediately. That's why the company is acting preemptively, trimming staff, cutting redundant management layers, and betting everything on artificial intelligence, automation, and robotics. Sources quoted by Business Insider reveal that Amazon has launched a secretive internal project, codenamed Apollo, aimed at overhauling its management systems and integrating AI at every level, from logistics to customer service. But beneath the optimistic corporate tone lies deep anxiety. The layoffs include not only warehouse workers but also mid-level managers, analysts, advertising professionals, and even teams from innovative divisions like Amazon Devices, once seen as the future of the company. This signals something bigger. The transformation is systemic, not temporary. We've seen this before. Between 2023 and 2024, Meta, Google, Microsoft, and Tesla all downsized massively under the same label of AI optimization. Back then, it seemed like a passing phase. Now, with Amazon joining the wave, it's clear. We're witnessing the rise of a new economic order. One where algorithms replace human judgment, and data, not intuition, drives every decision. Analysts at Bloomberg call it a silent AI revolution, a shift that will redefine not only industries but the very nature of work itself, and Amazon is leading that change. Meanwhile, economic think tanks like Brookings and Stratfor warn that these layoffs could foreshadow a new recession. If even the most powerful corporations are cutting costs, it signals that they expect demand to drop. And when demand in the US slows, the global economy follows. Experts suggest that Amazon isn't merely optimizing, it's preparing for a seismic global downturn. Facing declining trade, inflation, and geopolitical risks, the company is doing what it must to survive. Reports indicate that Amazon has already frozen warehouse expansion plans in Europe, delayed new data centers, and cut logistics investments by nearly 30%. This is not simple cost-cutting, it's a strategic retreat. At the same time, Amazon is investing heavily in AI, building its own large language models similar to ChatGPT and deploying advanced robotics to automate warehouse operations. The company recently unveiled the new Proteus robot, capable of autonomously moving cargo, and began integrating AI into customer support. While these innovations promise efficiency, they also signal an unsettling reality: a future where tens of thousands lose their jobs to machines. Yet, the motivation isn't purely technological, it's also political. According to The Guardian, Amazon's large-scale layoffs were coordinated with White House analysts, who warned major corporations of an impending downturn if talks between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping collapse. Experts say the outcome of these discussions could determine the fate of not just Amazon, but the entire U.S. tech sector. If China cuts off access to rare earth materials or its logistics networks, Amazon's current model would collapse. Thus, the layoffs are not a weakness, they're a defense mechanism. Amazon is stripping away excess to endure a coming storm. Ironically, at the very moment it appears strongest, the company is acting like it's preparing for the worst. That may be the most significant signal of all. If Amazon is bracing for impact, then the global storm isn't coming. It's already here. Analysts at Bloomberg Intelligence note that Amazon's actions mirror Apple's quiet strategy of moving parts of its production from China to India and Vietnam. Both giants seem to be reconfiguring their logistics networks in anticipation of an economic rupture between Beijing and Washington. According to Morgan Stanley, Amazon is buying time, trying to preserve financial stability until it becomes clear which way the global economy will tilt. Inside the company, however, the atmosphere is tense. Employees fear more layoffs, and trust in leadership is fading. Some analysts warn that if US-China talks collapse, Amazon could become the first major casualty of a new technological Cold War, one that leaves no room for the old rules of global trade.